Well, recovery for me meant being able to get out of bed in the morning, having getting a balance back in my life. It still is for me. Getting out of bed in the morning is a really difficult thing for me. And in my recovery, when I was ill, it was the last thing I ever wanted to do. And it just has this great symbolism for me, that being able to get out of bed in the morning. It takes a huge effort, a lot of energy. And once, being able to do that every day is a sign for me that things are going steady. And that's kind of the first step towards a balance in my life, having balance in my life.
So do you think that's what kind of sparked the recovery, was getting that balance?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. I have 2 children, and when I had my worst part of my breakdown, my son was 6 and my daughter was 14. And well, I suppose that also was a major part of recovery, was them being well for them, and letting it affect them as little as possible. My daughter noticed stuff was going on, but my son, I don't think he really noticed. I managed to get through it without him noticing. And I also managed to get through without having to go into hospital, with the supports that I had around me and everything, which was very important, because if it had got to that stage, I was a single parent and I could have ended up with the kids in care and stuff like that. And that was a huge, huge thing for me. So yeah, recovery was about getting through it for the kids and not having my mental health affect them. Ari's helped my recovery through the training, and basically through the training that I did. I'm a peer support worker, so the training that I did in becoming a peer support worker, the biggest thing that helped me with it helped me realise that even though I kind of came to a build-up and I had a breakdown a few years ago, I've actually been suffering from depression most of my adult life. And I hadn't realised it until then, until 20 years later. And once I came to that realisation, that with all the other supports that were there, with the peer support and being able to talk to peers and share my story with peers and stuff like that, that's really helped my recovery come on leaps and bounds. My recovery to the point of me knowing myself better and becoming happier with myself and being content with it, with everything I'd done and everything I was doing. To become more recovery oriented, definitely more initiatives. Peer support is only actually happening on a large scale in Mayo at the moment. It really needs to be rolled out across the country, and similar initiatives like it, more peer-led groups. I think when it comes to psychiatry and recovery, there's a huge gap there between psychiatric nurses, psychiatrists and service users. They're coming from a completely different angle, and I think there needs to be much more peer-led stuff going on, much more, what's it called, I can't think of it, yeah. Equality across the board, where people are coming from the same angle,
Yeah.
And lived experience is definitely a huge, it really helps.
Yeah, so the different voices kind of being heard.
Definitely, yeah, and there's so many different, every recovery journey is different. Everybody goes through different things, everybody experiences different things, and I think it helps to hear all the different ones, even though they mightn't relate exactly to your story. Just the fact that they're all different and that everybody goes through different things kind of brings people more to an equal level.